Good morning, all of you. I hope all you are well and fine, studying very well. So, friends and students, this video lecture will be for 10th class, second book of English, chapter number 5, Footprints Without Feet. The name of the book is also Footprints Without Feet, and the chapter 5 is also that same. Okay, so this lesson or this chapter or this story or this novel is written by H.G. Wells. Okay, so actually this is very fast novel, and but as for your class it is very small, and certain small incidents are put together and made it as for a lesson. But when you see the original novel, that is very fast and very long. So anyhow, so what is according to our class, so we will study about that. Okay, so let's begin. As for the introduction part, the story is about a scientist who discovered how to make himself invisible. Okay, as he was afraid of being discovered in London, where he had committed some crimes, he ran away to a remote village. However, he ran out of money and resorted to robbery, using his advantage of invisibility. Invisibility means we cannot see a person. Okay, we cannot see to a person. So there is a story that I will tell you later. But invisible, somebody has a capability or somebody has a power to make himself invisible. That means the person, one who is in front of him, the person, one who is beside him, the person, one who is behind him, nobody cannot see to him. That is the power of invisibility. So the name of the hero of this chapter, actually he acted as a villain, but he is the main character. That is why I tell you hero. So the main character of this chapter or of this lesson is Griffin. Griffin was a brilliant scientist, and he carried on experiments for years and proved that human body could become invisible. He swallowed some drug and become invisible person. Okay, so drug means this is not something that the people they are taking for like heroin or something else. This is not, but something he was experimenting. Okay, during that time he has taken that, he swallowed that, and from that day he became invisible man. Okay, so but remember, he was a great scientist. Okay, he was a brilliant scientist, and he wanted to prove that somehow people discovered that thing, the man or woman. So those who will take that medicine, definitely they will be invisible. And finally the same thing happened also here. I cannot say that that is regarding of medicine, but somehow he wanted to prove himself that one day he will be invisible, and after swallowing the certain rare drug, so he become completely invisible. Okay, so he had a quarrel with his landlord. He was a scientist, even though he had very cunning nature. Okay, he had very cunning nature and just like a crooked nature. So according to his private life, he was not a good man, always robbing, teaching, and destroying and fighting. All the qualities, they are too much in him. So that is why he fought one day with his landlord, and finally in his revenge, so he set fire to the house. Okay, he set fire to the house, and he removed his cloth. Remember one thing, when he has cloth, when he put cloth on his body, so his clothes are appearing, but his body is not appearing. So if he remove his cloth, if he removes his cloth, completely he disappear. No one can see him and no one can catch him. So that was the speciality of him. He removed his cloth because invisible and get away without being seen. Okay, he began to wander about the street of London without clothes, without money, and invisible. It was something, as I told you, if he has cloth, so the cloth can be seen by other person or somebody. If he has no cloth, he cannot see by anybody. Okay, he cannot see by anybody. So many days he roamed in London without money, or as a naked person, and becoming as an invisible. Okay, he happened to be some mud. Okay, one day he went to some place, and somehow he put his leg onto the mud, and wherever he went after that, his footprints that now placed in different places, and because of that reason, wherever he went, his footprints were left behind as he walked, and the two boys were fascinated by the footprints without feet. They followed the foot mark. However, grief easily escaped from them. Okay, and vanished from them. So that means his body cannot be seen, but other thing cannot be experienced or can be seen. Can be seen means footprints also seen by the other person. After that, there is another incident. That was very cold time, and midwinter. Midwinter means in this time, midwinter is not very easy days, because there is too much cold. And now you see here, he has no cloth. Okay, he is invisible. Okay, that is true, but his body is not like a divine power. There is no divine power in his body to bear the cold, to bear the hot like this. And that was very, very, very hot time, cold time, and there was cold wind, and freezing time, and very cold climate, and due to that reason he is getting too much cold. Okay, he is getting too much cold. So somehow, if he wear cloth, somebody can be seen him. If he has no cloth, if he doesn't wear cloth, there is too much cold. Both are very complicated. Somehow he entered to a store, and somehow he has broken the trunk or the boxes where there were clothes. He wears some cloth, and there is a quilt, and he wanted to sleep, and he went to kitchen room, and he has seen some foods were there, meat, and also wine. All the meats he ate, and wine also drank. Then finally he took a quilt and slept there. In the morning time, the assistants of the shop, they entered, and when he has seen them, he started to run away. He started to run away from there, and those attendants were there, and assistants were there. They also run behind him, and somehow they about to reach him, and the invisible man, means his gripping, he cast out his clothes, removed all his clothes, and that cast out, and finally he disappeared, and they couldn't catch him. So that was also a very difficult time for him, and finally he done one thing. So he entered to a theatre company, and he made his way upstairs. Nobody could see him because he was invisible. A little later, when he came out, he was weathering and bandage around his forehead, dark glass, false nose, big busy 6 whiskers, and a large hat. He attacked the shopkeeper from behind and robbed him all that he could find. So he went to a theatre, and he went to a particular shop, and he attacked to that shopkeeper behind of him, and whatever he could rob, he robbed everything, especially black glass, hat, and some bandage that he bandaged that on the neck, and also duplicate nose. All things all things he took there, and now he has something different face. His original face cannot be seen, and only glass and hat and something bandage portion that from the neck to top, that can be seen. So somehow Griffin was eager to get away from overcrowded London. He made crime there, and that is why he wanted to get away. So he went to a village that is called Iping, and booked 2 rooms. At a local inn means in Hindi we can say that Dharamshala. This is just like a small hotel where the people can stay there for few days, several days, as much they want. So he went to Iping, and that is a village, remote area from London, and he wanted to hide himself from the London, so that he came here, and whatever money he had, and through that money he hired 2 rooms, and also he started to stay there. So there is something happened. So the landowner, Mr. Hall and Mrs. Hall were there. So both of them were working in their inn, and those guests are coming, and both they are serving to their guest. Like the same way, they also wanted to please him, and they wanted to serve him with very honesty and with very loyalty. So they also wanted to do that, but somehow Griffin said that he doesn't want to get disturbed, because he is a scientist, he is experimenting and he is researching, so there should not be any disturbance, so that always he put the door closed, and he is inside. But day is passing, money, there is no money. One day he was called, or he was asked for money, and he said, now I don't have money, I am expecting to get a check leaf, so then after I will pay your debt, or I will pay your all rents. So somehow they have agreed to hear about that, but now there is no money, so what he will do? Without money he cannot live, without money he cannot do, nothing will happen. So one day he thought a plan to rob a priest home. Okay, that was early in the morning time, and so he went to the priest's home, father's home. In India we say Panditji, and or Europe country there is a church father. Okay, he went to church father's home, and he reached to the study room, and he opened the drawer and took money. And so both the husband and wife, and the father and his wife, both they have feared somebody come to our home, and they went rushed to the study room, and they have seen the drawer is opened, and so something is disturbed here and there, and somebody have come, but there is no any sign, there is no any shout, nothing is there. And shout is there little bit, but they can't see anybody else. They didn't see anybody else. That was something mysterious things. So when there is morning time, Mrs. Hall and Mr. Hall, they have seen the door of that particular invisible man's room that was fully opened, and they confused. Always he is staying there. Always he was staying there with closed his door, but now the door was opened, and that was something doubtfulness for them. And as they have come and they have seen the hut, false nose, bandage, everything is there, and nobody was there. And if nobody is there, so where he has gone? That was something question. And as they were thinking that, suddenly the invisible man entered there, and he has shown something, and shaken table and chair, and done something, and both of them have feared. Okay, both of them have feared, and finally they went and they discussed each other. There is something working inside of the inn. There is something work of witchcrafts, or that is just like a spirit, devil spirit work. So that is why she wanted to do something else, and in between, as they were discussing that, at the same time, the father of the church have come there, and they discussed that their money has been stolen. Okay, their money has been stolen. At the same time, the door was also opened, and that is why they have a doubt. They had a doubt. So definitely, this fellow might have stolen. Somehow they have called to village, village police constable. His name was Jaipur. Okay, his name was Jaipur. Somehow he has came there to arrest him, but in the bar, so he took out his nose, and he took out his cap, and he took out his bandage, and whatever things were there on the head. He took that very fast, cast out them. Then finally, the people were wondering to hold him, but they cannot hold him. So such way, the constable also tried to hold him, to catch him, but it was impossible to catch him. So that way, he escaped from the Iping Inn as well as the bar. So this fellow even was a very brilliant. This fellow even was a very talented, and as he was studying, he was always talented. But his heart is now very wicked. He is not a good man. He wants to always rob things, and he always wants to do something, wrong thing that is very illegal in the society. So I hope you have understood this video, and the next video will be in Hindi. So, but I would request you, if yet you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe, and also share it to say your friends to see this video, etc. May God bless you. Thank you. Have a good day.